Welcome, everyone, to today's program, the Dr. Ward Bond Show. And as you can see, I've got another special guest with us. We have Julie Revelant, who is one of the most well-known health journalists in America. And not only that, we're going to talk about something vitally important that many of you ask me about: natural ways to cope with anxiety. And first off, Julie, thank you so much for joining me on the program today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, you and I have done, you were a guest on my podcast, Life Changing Wellness, and we talked about the natural ways to cope with anxiety and stress in today's times. What is the best way for all of us to start our day?
So, one of the best ways that I start my day, and by the way, I have generalized anxiety disorder, which is an disorder. I start my day off with the Lord for 20 minutes. My church encourages us to do our first 20. And so I wake up, I read my Bible, I pray to the Lord, I do some devotionals. You could also put on praise and worship music. Or listen to a sermon on YouTube or something like that.
Well, I think that's a great way. Now, what did you find that with your type of anxiety disorder, and by spending those 20 minutes because it really sets up your whole day, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It sets the tone for the day. I feel closer to the Lord. I feel more at peace. I feel like, He's got my back, and it really just sets the tone and makes me feel grounded for the day to be able to prepare for whatever may come my way.
I agree with that. And ladies and gentlemen, I myself start my day off the exact same way. I'm going to go through my devotions. I'm going to read my Bible. I may read some extra works from other ministers just to really get that faith built up and ready for the day. Because, I believe that faith itself brings us peace, like the word says. We bring all of our prayers, supplications, and requests unto the Lord, and that He will give us that peace that passes all understanding. And that's what
Right.
we need. So I know that to me is above all things. And Julie, what are, a lot of people, they're not eating right, and that really can play a big role into causing more anxiety and more stress in one's life. What are the types of foods that we should be looking at and we should be eating on a daily basis?
Absolutely, Dr. Bond. Yeah, when you drink a lot of caffeine, we all of our caffeine, but caffeine and sugar and ultra processed foods can really ramp up your anxiety. And so you want to focus on anti-inflammatory foods. So fruits and vegetables, up to 10 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. Fish and seafoods, very good for the brain. Nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, all anti-inflammatory foods. I've found that years ago when I was eating very poorly, the anxiety really ramped up. And when you eat refined carbohydrates, for example, your blood sugar crashes and then you feel more anxious. So you want to really fuel your body with good nutrition, things that are going to keep your blood sugar stable, fend off hunger, and really give you energy and make you feel like you're on an even keel for the day.
Well, and I agree with the 10 servings of fruits and vegetables per day because I know fiber controls blood sugar. I know that the getting healthy omega 3s actually can bring a calmness to the brain, to bring calmness to our mental state, which is vitally important. I find that even though we may deal with stressful situations, that just by picking the right foods to eat, we can actually lessen and actually, as what we're talking about right now, is we can actually cope better with those types of situations that arise in our life instead of just kind of going crazy with it and being uncertain. So yes, start our day off, with the Word of God and prayer, because the Lord will always lead and guide us. Eating the right foods. Now, also, I'm really big about exercise. So, what type of exercises do you suggest we do to keep our stress level down?
Yes, yes. So exercise can boost the endorphins, boost serotonin, decrease muscle tension. And I am a big gym fanatic. Although I can't, haven't been at the gym But I'm a big fan of Les Mills' Body Combat, which makes you really feel like very confident. But anything that you can do that you enjoy and you like to do that you can stick with for the long term, that's the key. So it could be walking, jogging, dancing, Zumba, cycling, anything that you enjoy, that's what you should do.
Yeah, I used to be really big into lifting weights. I really liked it for a time, but I'm like, then after a while, mentally, you're just like, I don't really want to do this, because it's just constant. So I'm a big avid cyclist. That's what I love to do. I like to cycle outside. I get to go out to see the environment. Of course, with weather changes, it always makes it interesting. So it's never boring and it's never the same. So that's what keeps me going. Now, how can all of my viewers learn more about you and what you do?
Sure, they can visit julierevelant.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Start your day off with the Word of God. Pray. The Lord wants to hear from you. You know the foods you're supposed to eat. You watch my show every day. That's what we focus on. And of course, exercise is great for the body, the mind, as well as the spirit. Thank you, Julie, for joining us for today's program. And ladies and gentlemen, stay with me. I will be right back after this message.